that works much better than investing money that you don't have into something you hope will pay off. It's another day. The sun's not up, but it's still light. So we got a little bit of sunlight that we can use to get this video going. What we're going to talk about today has to do with something we're planning to do that goes right along with the homesteading that we are preparing to do right now. We're going to produce a series of ebooks that have to do with homesteading, getting ready to, all the steps that are involved, the how-to, the why-to.
And really, can I just say this one thing?
Let's find out.
I'm so sorry. Really helping everyone, but helping people that are 50 and over to be able to, when they do it, know how to do it so it doesn't hurt their body, and to do things in a way.
Sustainably. I mean, we're all about sustainable, so that's what this is about. So today we're starting with really a message for us, but it's a message pretty much for everybody that has to do with where you are financially as you're getting ready to start a homestead and some of your considerations for doing that. So keep watching. You're going to learn some things. Maybe you're in great shape, but we suspect for many people some of the advice we're going to provide is going to be, yeah, I know that, so okay, yeah, you're right, I'm going to do that. Keep watching.
20 years ago was 1997.
Yes, it was.
I graduated from the Ohio State University.
Yay, Nurse Rhenda!
With my degree and a lot of student loan debt. Now, when you have big debt, it's ominous. When you have little debt, you're like, oh, I can take this money and pay that off. But when you have this big debt, you don't want to take...
The other factor that goes in there is interest rate. Little debt typically has big interest rate, where big debt like that has a very low interest rate. So you're like, it's no big deal.
No big deal. And if I put money to it, it's not going to show. So why put money to it other than the payment? 20 years later, I still have a big student loan. Now, not big like a doctor, not big like whatever.
Not as big as it used to be.
Not as big as it used to be.
But big still.
Big enough.
Bigger than we want it to be.
A noose around my neck. So, Arna, how are you supposed to follow that? Our number one thing that we have to do for a homestead is to get out of debt.
First.
Period.
We've done it while we were in debt. In fact, we were very optimistic about some of the things we were doing business-wise, and we had projects we wanted to do, that we needed to do to make it all happen. And so we spent money that we optimistically hoped would be returning fairly soon. Overly optimistic is a better description of what it was. So we created a little bit, not a lot, but more debt. And that's not the right approach. We knew it, but we really thought that we'd have that taken care of and it'd put us on the right course, and it doesn't work that way. And did you have something you wanted to say?
I don't.
One of the big reasons is when you're doing a homestead, typically if you're doing it for yourself, you still are concerned about how you're paying it, how you're making it work. If you're trying to produce food for yourself, what would it really cost you to go buy that food from another farmer somewhere? Is your investment really going to pay off? You have to think that through. If you're having to borrow it, it makes it all that much worse. If you're attempting to have a money-making venture out of this, and you're doing it on borrowed money, then you're having to pay back your loan while you're trying to make money, and typically it's a small margin that you're working with. It doesn't work out very well. The payback can be really slow. If you have a bad year, a bad season, you lose money, and you can't do that very many times before you can't continue doing it. That's not sustainable. So if you start with no debt, you have a little bit of money coming in from somewhere, or you're just living on savings until you get it producing, that works much better than investing money that you don't have into something you hope will pay off.
So in order to make this venture work for us, we have set some guidelines down for us. We know that there's people out there who are our age or younger or older that have been renting because they can't buy. We can buy.
The reason she's pushing her glasses up, they
you
broke.
Want to see these?
She has new ones on the way. So there's going to be the new and improved version of Rhenda happening fairly soon, but not soon enough.
Yeah. Where was I? Okay. We've set some guidelines for ourselves. We want a car that doesn't take so much gas. So we were going to go get a car, and we're like, no, we really can't get the car we want to without going into more debt. So let's just hold back. Well, let's go get some land. We can qualify for a small amount, but it doesn't get us what we wanted, and that wouldn't be wise right now. So between the time that we announced that we were going to Colorado and now, we've had a lot of reality checks come in, and we have grown up.
Decided to stay consistent with the principles, the values that we believe in.
If we're going to teach it to you, we have to live it.
I mean, it's things that we believe in, but there's always that tendency to compromise because of, we really want to do this, we really need to do this. Well, violating your principles, violating your values doesn't lead to good things.
Nope. So that's why we are staying here with our son, and then the opportunity just came up that we could go and be with a lot of different family members for about 3 months before we come back here. And that's the goal at this point. And the goal is to get ourselves out of debt during 2018. During that time, we will turn this beautiful yard into a permaculture haven and teach our grandchildren how to do it, and share how to eat, how to exercise, and how to keep ourselves emotionally well. No matter if you have several acres or you just have a backyard, you can do homesteading. The book that Justin Rhodes recommends for permaculture is called
Gaia.
What?
Gaia. I don't know how to pronounce
What's
it.
the second word?
I don't know.
I will put it down below so that you'll know about it. But it is a permaculture for your small homestead, your small home. I mean, it's for your home. And so I'm going to use it here in this yard and learn on this scale so that we can take it to our next scale.
Absolutely.
It's actually a wonderful opportunity.
Now, for us, this is a good thing because we get to practice the permaculture things that we've learned. And our light just went on. It must be getting darker.
Must be light.
The sun is setting more and more. We really need to practice the planning part of permaculture, because that's really what it is, looking at what you have and thinking it through and planning it out. And there's a lot here to work out. I mean, it's kind of challenging what they have here in the
It
yard.
is.
There's a lot in place, but there are many improvements.
Well,
that
my
can
grandson,
be made.
who's 17, he said, it's really beautiful, Grandma, but we don't have time to do anything with it. And if we had to do it, we'd probably just concrete the whole thing over. And I'm like, ooh. I says, don't worry, we'll take care of it.
So, to our friends who know a lot about permaculture, one of the challenges that we have here is that a lot of effort has been put in place for areas where they don't have plants growing, but they're having a lot of weeds growing up. They've tried to do several things. It's our opinion, if we do a lot thicker set of wood chips, mulch type of things.
And compost.
And the compost, but make it deep enough that only the things that we plant there and help them through the chips are going to work out. But if there are other techniques that could be successful in stopping the weeds from happening, we'd appreciate hearing about it.
So we're going to show you one little clip that we had at dinner. I realized that I needed to fix dinner tonight. It was 20 to 5. I needed to pick him up at 5, and I did call him and say, I'll be there at 5:15. So it really, in 25 minutes, I took food out of the freezer. So I took some turkey that I had already cooked that was frozen, some turkey broth that I had made earlier, some grass-fed sausage pork that we had, new potatoes out of our garden, and leeks out of our garden. Added it all together and made this little video. Talk.
This is good. Homemade leek soup.
What
With
else?
Sausage and turkey, potatoes, and leeks, and a broth that, it was a turkey broth that we had.
And it all was in our freezer.
Came out of our freezer.
Well, no, the leeks and the potatoes weren't in our freezer.
Leeks and the potatoes came from our garden. Thanks for watching.
Share,
Subscribe.
and we love you. Thank you.